All right, guys. Timely Tuesday. Very late. Very tired. Putting these things takes way too long to make. So by the time I'm done, I can't even talk right. So I apologize for all the weird pauses and whatnot that will almost make me want to start over again, but I can't do that anymore. So I'm just going to roll with this. Want to talk about Timely Comics and where they are in the Overstreet's top 100 most valuable Golden Age books. We all know, I don't know why I even need to say this, but obviously Overstreet's guides are, they're inaccurate, they're low, but for me, there's a lot of great knowledge in those books, and they're fun to look at, and I like comparing them year by year. So yes, Timely Comics, there's a lot of them. If you talk about Golden Age collecting, usually someone will bring up Timely, and maybe you'll learn something like I did when I was making this. There's a lot of interesting things to consider when just weird stuff. Like one thing that is always weird for me is because I'm not in the market for these top 100 most valuable. Like I don't even know anybody who can afford most of this stuff on here in the grades that they're talking about. This is all high grade. And some of the books I'm just like, what? That just doesn't make sense. Why is that above this other one? But I do understand that certain books are just way harder to find in high grade. It doesn't necessarily mean it's a better book than the other one. It just might mean someone who's super into high grades is just going to have a way harder time finding the book. So some of the stuff on this list is a little strange, but be that as it may, the top 100 Golden Age, you might be surprised that it's not dominated at all by Timely or Marvel. Not like the Silver or Bronze Age where they really dominated. 55% of the Silver Age of the top 50 were all Marvels, and 60% of the Bronze Age were Marvels. So, very different. Here in the Golden Age, DC is pretty much king. And especially on the high ticket books. Like, they're almost, I think, it's like over 65% of the books in the top 100 are, I believe, less than like 50K. So the rest of the books, are, and they're mostly DC. Even just looking at this right here, you could imagine what the prices would be for the absolute highest version of one of these. But anyway, and you could take a guess. How many Timely Comics do you think are on the most valuable 100? I was not close at all with my guess. And the winner is 21 books. So here we go. I'm just going to go by these. Starting with, so I'm going to list the book, the month and year it was on sale, not cover dated, but on sale. And then I'm going to list the rank of in the Overstreet, and price that Overstreet gives, which again is usually low. And then I'm also going to list, I'm going to count towards the number one with the timely numbers as well. So anyway, you'll figure it out. Okay, so coming in at the 21st most valuable timely comic, June 1940, Marvel 10. This is a great early issue. I think this is the, maybe third Namor cover, I believe. He's massive there. It's pretty good. Schomburg's, I feel like he's just getting started. This is one of the earliest ones in the timelies where I think he's adding a lot of detail. He's starting to get a lot of just bodies, planes in there. I like how massive Namor is. This is a good Everett issue. I think this concludes the fight that Namor and the Human Torch had in number 9, but it's like a one-page conclusion, which is pretty lame. But hey, I'd like to get it someday. Number 20, from July 49, 36K. This is definitely one of the weirdest Captain America comics you'll ever see. I've never looked at the inside of one of these. That would be interesting. And you can see how low the rank is, coming in at 79 on the 100 list. There's only 2, believe it or not, books that are non-reprint books that actually are in this list that are from after World War II started. Which I found very interesting. This is by far the latest one in time. I mean, I believe, a lot of people just really love this book. I think it's awesome cover, but, it's not really my thing. It's almost like a pre-code horror thing. I wonder, I got to look at the inside to see I wonder if he's even in this. But, I mean, even I have to admit, it's pretty awesome cover. And I like how it says Marvel Comic over there in the left. I don't think there's too many of these available. All right, number 19. I believe that's a Kirby cover. This started the fight between Human Torch and Submariner. It's interesting that they don't really mention that on here. Oh, they do. Okay, never mind. It's pretty small. Something new. It was. He's still. So Martin Goodman, the publisher, was really. He really wanted this character Angel to be. It was like his favorite guy, so he really kept pushing him over and over again. I think there might be just one more cover with him on it before he gave up. I mean, the Angel still appeared in the comic, but yeah, he didn't do the covers too often. So, all right, here's 1941, number 18. The first group book they did, even though I don't believe on the inside they were actually together. Now this is one of these odd ones. So there's 2 annuals. Well, they call them annuals sometimes, but they're 128 pages. They are reprints of other books. Like this one, this cover is from Cap 22, but the inside, I believe it's Marvel Mystery number 30 plus Cap number 18. And I believe it's in black and white. And the inside covers are blank. They're square bound, so they're usually wrecked. I wonder if the paper is similar to pulps. I've seen maybe two. They're cool, but they're really high priced. Very, very rare. I believe, I don't know too much about these, but I think this is Canadian, and I believe it might have the same interior as the other annual, which we'll see shortly. Mystic Wand. This hero, the Blue Blaze. Yeah, it didn't really go anywhere. January 40, so this is a very early, timely. Mystic Comics later on had the Destroyer in it, which is a really awesome character. But the earlier ones were more pulpish. Still, Timely was trying to figure out what they were doing at this point. So, yes, this is a very interesting one. I mean, besides from being one of the best Schomburg Timely covers ever, in my opinion. And, I mean, you gotta love Cap the Gun like that. And all three of them on there, plus no, there's just no sidekicks. I love that. And black cover, I mean, there's just so much going for it. The only thing that's not going for it is the year. I mean, I prefer books that are pre-war. But hey, I wouldn't complain about this. This is so I have a little asterisk there. Because those annuals and this are the only books besides that weird Captain America one that are on the top 100 that are after the war started for America, which I was really surprised about. You know, especially like you hear so much about, Timely and all the best war covers and blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, I mean, pretty much, I don't know, 17 or, yeah. So they're all pre-war. Pre-1942, pre-Pearl Harbor. I was just really surprised about that. I'm sure it has a lot to do with the rarity as the older back you go. Okay, number 14. I mean, we're still, look at that, Overstreet's ranking. We're not even close to the bottom, to the top books. And we're at, what, 40 grand already? Oof. This is a crazy Jack Kirby one. This got canceled and turned into Human Torch series, which is why Human Torch number 1 is really number 2, and it's all this kind of confusing thing, but this is really the number 1, and that one's the number 2. Here's that other annual. This one has the reprint cover of Marvel Mystery 33. Great cover. Same thing as the other stuff, like super rare. There's actually 2 versions of this, I guess. I'm not sure if they both have the same exact interior or not. Overstreet doesn't. I think they value both the same price. All right, 52K, number 12, October 39. I think this is like the 3rd Timely book they made. Really cool Schomburg cover. I think This is Schomburg's first. Yeah, this is Schomburg's first timely cover. Really cool. Very sci-fi. I don't think any of these heroes from this made it. This series didn't last long. All right, rank number the 11th timely on the list. Number 11. This, I believe, is way too low. This book is gonna, it's so high in demand. It's rare. It's Stan Lee's first thing in print. He wrote a text double page thing in the middle of the book. It's got the first Schomburg Captain America cover. It's the first Red Skull cover. It's got Nazis, it's got sci-fi elements, it's got the bondage elements. It's just got so much going for it. Cool, that cool Golden Age yellow cover. What a great book. And it should be way higher on the list. So here's another one, Marvel 3, early. Never been a huge fan of this cover. It's just really, really weird. Schomburg. I would definitely take that cap over this any day. But number 3, that's pretty cool. I'd say, the interior is what I'd be more interested in. Cap 2, and number 9. Still, so we just hit halfway point on the top 100 Golden Age. So, timely is coveted, but not necessarily the most valuable. Number 8, we're getting up there, 65K. First Nazi flag on the timely book. Second in all of comics. First Namor on the cover. First Schomburg Namor. It's got a lot going for it. Great book. Pretty rare. Number 7. First appearance of Toro. I always thought, at first glance, Toro kind of looked like a female in this cover. And what the hell it was with Namor's receding hairline. It's going crazy on this one. And this is what I was talking about earlier, Human Torch number 2, parentheses number 1. Yes, the numbering on the first 5 issues is crazy with this title. But it is Red Raven's fault. It's a good book. I think this was the first solo hero book by Timely. So that's pretty neat. This is the third. This one. Really cool Schomburg cover here. Look at that. I still regret not buying this way back, I think, in the early 90s. I remember seeing it up on the wall at this comic shop. And I had a bunch of credit, so I'm sure I could have gotten this. But I went with some key Silver Age books instead, which I still have, and they're great books. But, man, it's hard to even... Sometimes, I'll see maybe I should be cool to have a Submariner 1, and they're just really tough to come by. Go look for one right now. I bet it'd be hard to even... I'd be surprised if you said there was none, I wouldn't be surprised. And if you said there was 2, I'd be surprised. Look at the angels on there. He's not giving up. 84K. Yeah. That's a great book. Look how wide it is. Okay, this one is notoriously scarce. I do like number 4 better, but yeah, I guess there's just less of these survived or something. First Schomburg, Human Torch. Kind of a pulp feeling. Number 4, we're getting real close to the end now. But we hit the 100K mark. This is great. I forget who the cover artist is on this, but it's the only angel cover that I really like. That I think is a great cover. And it's got this strange, like, title bar on there. You know, you could see... starting in number 3, they went back to the same title logo style that they have for their Marvel pulps. Which I should have put one up here, but this is the first time they had mystery, because the Marvel number 1 was just called Marvel Comics. Then they added the mystery. Just like very small. It's kind of strange. Look how small that mystery is. Why didn't they just call it Marvel Comics? Interesting. But anyway, yeah, that's a good one. Pretty rare. Second appearance in comics of those guys, of most of those guys. I mean, it's Namor's third it's Namor's second timely book. I'll get into the whole the motion pictures giveaway comic some other time. Number 3, such a great book. First crossover comics. Look at that. I mean, Namor is just gonna swat him. He's just waiting for him to get close. Then wham. One of my most favorite timely books ever of all time, for sure. 110. I think it's worth more. I think, the highest, if you had the highest grade in this thing, shoot. I don't know, compared to just some of the other prices, this is ranked number 30. There's 29 other books ahead of this. I don't know. There aren't, if I had to pick what book I would want, I don't think this would be the 29th or 30th. Probably at least be in my top 10. Number 2, so we jumped up a lot in price. $460, which I believe, I can't remember if there's been sales over 500, but I feel like there was. For a while, people used to say this book was common as far as Golden Age keys went, but I don't know. I don't know about that. I think it's one of the best Golden Age covers ever, and I believe that someday it'll be in the top 5. I don't think it should be as low. I think 50 years from now or 20 years from now or whatever, people will think they got a bargain. Come on. There's no way that the Green Lantern first appearance is cooler than this. Come on. Number one. I believe that price is a little low. I used to really hate this cover, and somehow it's been growing on me, which is really weird. There's two versions of this book. There's the October, and then there's one with a November on there. And some people really think the October one is worth a lot more, others don't, but you're probably gonna have to pay a little more for that one if you want it. This used to be number one for a while on the Overstreets. I can't remember the years, but I think it was in the early 90s or late 80s. Not sure. I'll have to look that up. Someday, maybe. Low grade is just hard to even find, and usually it's like at least 30, 40K. But yeah, so that's it. That was the 21. Here are the top three, and they're all over $1 million each. So Timely has a long way to go. I believe, a lot of people believe actually, that Cap will overtake Marvel 1 eventually. I could see that. I mean, if values were just thrown out, I would much rather have Cap 1. But if you had to take into consideration, what you could sell it for and what it'd be worth and all that, yeah, Marvel 1 would probably be better, and perhaps the historical significance is higher. So, how did Timely do compared to the rest? Pretty good. So, with 21 books out of the 100, they're approaching a quarter of the total 100 books. According to that list, if you could get all of the 21 in the highest grade for the low price of $2,227,000. That's a lot. Although I think, I'm surprised. It seems low to me for the highest grade. I looked up what the Overstreet thinks if you wanted all these in low grade, and you could do it for a low $150,000. I believe that number is very low. Very, very low. I think, Cap, if you're just buying low grade Cap, and this is for supposedly a 2.0, which is totally garbage. I mean, 1.0 maybe some of these prices, but the Cap, if you're getting a Cap and a Marvel, you're looking at 100K to be safe. And then you throw in a Marvel Mystery 9 plus Cap 3, you're pretty, and All Select 1, you're pretty much done. That's your 150 right there. So in like 1.0 or 1.5. But, entry level is something that I think Overstreet has kind of struggled with in the past. I don't know. I feel like they're only now starting to kind of acknowledge that the low grade is actually, it doesn't just keep going down a smooth curve from the highest grade all the way down to the low grade. Like, it actually goes down and then just maintains, and actually somewhat can have little spikes right at entry level just because there's more competition. And I guess, there's 21 out of the 100. I think here's a few that I think they're right on the cusp, and I think they'll eventually enter the top 100 because of they're highly sought after. This is the infamous Burning Arm Human Torch cover. Look at that. It's just searing right through. The beautiful USA 7. The crazy pickle-headed Hitler. Marvel 46. With Nazi zombies. Such a great cover. And this book just keeps climbing. And I think this might be the first one of the 4 to enter the top 100. I think just with more sales, it's going to be up there. But Cap saving the Jews from being burned. All right, well, thanks again, guys. And see you next week. Hopefully a little earlier next time.